People are different than cows, Jacob.
How are they different?
Actually, maybe they're not.
They taste a little different.
Welcome back to the first youth podcast for the Church of Jesus Christ.
I am the main host.
Alright, whatever, dude.
Now that we've established that I am indeed the main host, we can continue. Today we have our first guest, Jacob Avery, on the line. Jacob, how are you?
Swell.
That is swell to hear. So we just want to ask you a couple of questions and figure out how you're doing during this whole pandemic. So how has the whole coronavirus thing affected you? Has it too much being out on a ranch?
So honestly, with being in the middle of calving and kind of being super busy, taking care of calves, especially through the storms, not going anywhere anyway. So the only main difference is that my kids are home. My wife's doing school with them, and they get to come with me more than as if they were in school. So, that's a little bit of a change. I know when Angie, my wife, goes to town to go shopping, there's been a few things that haven't been on the shelves, but luckily we've been pretty prepared as far as the normal necessities of life, so we don't have to worry too much about that with food storage and whatnot. So we probably haven't had as big of a effect as some other people.
Yeah. Now, I got a question that's probably on everyone's mind, probably the most important question, kind of regarding supplies. How is your toilet paper supply?
Right now, I'm sure we got a couple of weeks out as far as that goes of toilet paper, but a week or so ago, it was definitely getting a concern of whether we were going to run out of toilet paper, because that was not something that we had a huge storage of. Just a couple of weeks on hand is all. So we have considered getting a bidet to supplement our toilet paper use.
But it hasn't come down to that yet.
Maybe just showering more often.
That's probably something you're not very familiar with, huh?
If it rains, usually I shower more than once a month. So
Gotcha. I usually keep it
you're
around
on a
once
horse,
a year.
probably. Well, that's good to hear. I was thinking, being out on a ranch like you are, you've probably been affected quite a bit less than a lot of people. It's kind of been the same for us.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I guess would say that kind of has bugged me about the whole shutting everything down is my horse competitions are not going on, so my opportunity to go and win some money has been limited.
Man.
And horse sales are down, so that kind of stinks, but
it's kind of unfortunate.
Other than that,
that's interesting, actually, because I don't really do anything with horses, but I deal with dirt bikes, and dirt bike sales have actually gone up.
Oh, really? People want to recreate?
I just sold one today, actually.
Huh. Probably because people are really bored.
Yeah, probably. I don't know why they wouldn't also get into horses a little bit more.
I think the worry of just the income, where like a dirt bike is pretty much just a straight up one-time purchase, whereas a horse is
Mm-hmm.
an investment where, I mean, you
Keep
gotta
feeding it, watering it.
continually feed it and groom it and all of that goes along with it.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
But so you said that you are now able to spend a lot more time with your kids and wife. Is that a positive thing?
For me it is. I know with the kids and all of their homework, falling into a routine at home was kind of difficult for Angie, trying to figure out when that she was going to do everybody's different things. And so the first couple of weeks that they were home, I think, was kind of a difficult time for her, but I wasn't around, so I didn't notice it as much other than a little bit of complaining I heard from her. But now that they've kind of fallen into the routine of when they do homework and when they go outside, when they come with me, they've kind of got that figured out, so it's better.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, do you have any questions for the one and only Jakob Avery?
Well, I think you've covered most of them. This pandemic has not been very nice to a lot of us, but it has been good as in getting closer to families and friends. Not necessarily friends, but family. Do not get close to your friends. We do not want to spread this virus. Stay home, people.
You want people to stay home, huh?
Absolutely. Unless you
That's
absolutely
what
have
they're telling
to.
us. I know you're a very smart man, Jakob. How much longer do you see this going on for?
Well, I guess
Self-proclaimed smart man.
self-proclaimed.
I only know it because you told me so.
I know that as a church and also many other members, not of our necessarily our faith directly, but of Christian faith, have prayed together, have fasted together, and I think the Lord will hear our prayers as we turn our hearts to Him, and I think it'll end soon. I hope and pray it will. Not nearly as much specifically just for me, but for all the people that are without jobs, have lost businesses. I think it needs to end quickly. And I think there's a lot of people that are using it for, scare tactics for political and that. And I think it's time for it to end. I think we've kind of curved it. I still think there's definitely a worry for, the elderly or those that have respiratory problems. But I believe our country, was founded on giving people the freedom to choose. And I think as Americans especially, we should have the right to choose for ourselves whether we go out into public, whether we go to work, and how we act. We're smart enough to know that
most of us,
that this pandemic, this virus is something we can get. So use the precautions that they're suggesting. Cover your mouth. Don't go around touching every shopping cart when you go to Walmart and then rub your eyes and nose.
Yep.
Those sort of things. Yeah. And, get people back to work. And those that feel like they shouldn't, give them the opportunity to stay home as well. And I think we'll get over this.
Great answer.
I like that, man. I like what you said earlier about just going forward with faith, and you think the Lord will kind of take care of it. Kind of on another spiritual note, what's your advice to stay connected to the Spirit and to continue progressing even though we don't have church and other activities to kind of keep us active?
Well, I just, with this whole pandemic, I was a testimony builder to me that our prophet and other general authorities are very close to our Savior, who is at the head of our church, who prepared us for this time and maybe times that will come in the future, where we got our home study through Come Follow Me, where we can still, have the study of the gospel that is home-centered. It is church-supported, but we don't need the church, I guess, per se, to teach us the gospel, to teach our families the gospel. The church is there to support us in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, as seers, that we sustain all the members of the Quorum of the 12 that were supposed as seers. They were able to see into the future and to know that we need it at this time and probably other times that will come in the future where we may not be able to congregate as we normally do. And so to me, that's a huge testimony builder in itself, but also to be able to be home and do the sacrament to my family, to explain to them of how those keys work. As I'm not able to just give the sacrament to whoever I want. The keys are with our branch president, President Hine, and he gives permission to me to give the sacrament to my family. And anyway, using all of these opportunities to share with my family of how the restored church works, especially the general conferences we talked about, the restoration, and the continuum of restoration that's going on today. I think all of those things that happen in our life we can use as testimony builders and learning experiences. Even though we're not going to church every week, but through Come Follow Me and family study, we're able to continue our testimony and growth.
Yeah, I really like that. It has been kind of a neat experience, like doing the worldwide fast on Good Friday. It was really cool. It all kind of joined together in one cause.
Yeah, in all of my life, this is the first time I've ever can remember, at least. Maybe there was a time that we did before that I don't remember, but coming together as a church, as well as inviting other Christians to come together.
A lot of different people, a lot of different religions.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
I associate a lot with people that I normally wouldn't consider people of faith, I guess you would say, any belief in Christ. And I'm seeing, I talked to one guy that I ride a lot of horses for this guy, and very, I guess, man of the world, I would consider him. And, he mentioned a lot of things of belief and higher power and God, I guess, specifically, as he said it, and his faith that we were all in the hands of God and not to worry about it. And I think at this time, maybe a lot of the hearts of men are being turned back to God and thinking about what truly is important.
Yeah, definitely kind of a humbling experience for a lot of people.
I think it can be for all of us a good time to self-reflect on our own beliefs and on what is important. Even though we all want it to be over, but a great time to self-reflect and think of our faith and what's most important in our lives.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention my faith has exponentially grown throughout this whole experience, just from being able to administer the sacrament at home. There's a certain spiritual aspect that I haven't been able to reach in the past that I have been at home church. It really strikes home when you're with your family, going over lessons, and it's a whole new experience. I loved it. Again, I would love this to end, but I will miss what spirit I did get through all this experience.
Yeah,
I think hopefully the pandemic will end, but maybe the spiritual aspects of it won't. I've heard people mention that with the 9/11, it brought the country together, brought people to pray and to turn back to God, and I think that this experience can do the exact same thing that 9/11 did. Just because we may get over it, which we hopefully soon, we'll see us getting back to work and the deaths stopping and all of that. But hopefully the faith and our trust in God won't.
Absolutely.
Well, I love what you've said. We're about out of time, so we better not keep going for too long. Any closing remarks? Any good jokes you've heard lately?
I don't even have a good joke lately.
Any old jokes?
Not that I can think of right off.
It's always hard on the spot, but I'll be looking forward to hearing one next time I see you.
Hopefully it'll be soon.
I ever see you again.
This'll end. It's got to, or the second coming's going to come or something, because our country's got to get back to work, got to get back to doing what we need to. During General Conference, the general authorities were very optimistic that we'd be back, and they promised us that we'd be back doing temple work. They're building more temples. I'm sure this will end quickly. We've fasted, we've prayed, petitioned the Lord, and I'm sure that the Lord will answer our petitions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is just a little taste of what's to come. Like, this is just like a are you ready kind of a moment. Like, you've got to be prepared in a way for what's to come in the future. Not to say to worry. We're not here to worry about what's to come, but definitely be prepared and open to the Spirit in what you need to do to guide your family if you're a dad. So, I mean, it's just a whole learning curve for a lot of people.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Well, this has been great. A little call.
Thank you, Jacob.
Given me a lot, at least, to kind of think about.
Lots to ponder about.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacob.
Oh, you bet.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Same to you guys.
Don't forget to tune in next time for our next podcast. We'll be doing one once a day, hopefully. Keep up with that, and we'll see you guys next time.